of Freedom from Addiction. My name is Lance Wright. I'll be your host tonight, an addiction recovery specialist. We're going to talk about escaping the prison of the soul, what addiction treatment and overcoming addiction is really about. I'm going to give it a few minutes. I got some nice jazz playing low key. Come on in. I'm here for you. I got you. I got your stuff for comments going over here on my computer. So I can pay attention when you come in. Hopefully some of y'all join in shortly. But cheers. Let me know you're in here. I suspect a couple of my regulars are going to come in, and hopefully I'll get a few guests that are interested in learning about what keeps us trapped. Many people think it's about drugs and alcohol, but what is that prison of the soul? Because not everybody that is a drug or alcohol, excuse me, not everyone is an addict or an alcoholic when it comes to just substances. A lot of us are trapped in a place within that we feel uncomfortable with, that we don't like, and we don't know how to get out of there. It's an addiction. It's a form of addiction. We're attached to something that has imprisoned us, and we can't be free in and of ourselves. I've been through a recovery process and realized it was so much more than drugs and alcohol. And that's the conversation I want to have with you tonight. And I'm just going to let a few minutes, probably about 5 minutes in, we're going to kick off and get into a conversation. If you'd like to leave a comment, like, or subscribe, I would appreciate it. If you'd like a free 30-minute consultation, go to the link in my bio with Beacons, and you can set up a 30-minute free consultation to see if I can help you or your loved one. That's really what this is about, promoting change and healthy lives. Whew. Drop your name if you come in. Let me know you're here. I see I'm not the only one. I'm going to mess it up, but hey, Prakar, God bless you. Welcome in. Oh, wow. Nice. Welcome in, everyone. Tonight we're talking about escaping the prison of the soul. What is that and what are we talking about? Peace, Olivia, Ruby, welcome in. I'm an addiction recovery specialist. I like to do this. Where am I from? California, Southern California, Long Beach. But probably everywhere in the country and beyond. I've lived my life pretty much everywhere. And hi, Porsche. Welcome in. Good to see you. I hope you guys will hang out for a little while, kind of talk, engage. But I want to talk about, as an addiction provider that deals predominantly with alcohol and substances, I don't want to talk about that tonight. I want to talk about us, about you, and where you feel trapped inside. Yes, I am. I am definitely into nature. So, this show tonight is a conversation around those of us that are struggling with something inside of us that we feel imprisoned to. Maybe it's a thought, maybe it's trauma that we can't let go of or navigate or heal alone. Those are the things I want to talk about tonight. Um, for me personally, everything about addiction is here. It's not a drug or a substance. It's a survival skill that's kicked in and taken charge in such a way that we don't know what to do without it. And we think if we let our guard down and we let the castle gate open, we're going to die. I was working with a gentleman today. His problem is not alcohol and substances, it's trauma. He's worked in an agency where he has seen a lot of violence, a lot of the results of violence, and he has a lot of PTSD. And he can't identify with drugs and alcohol, and he's pretty adamant that he's not an addict. But when I started to talk with him and we had a conversation, he actually was able to connect to the fact that He's addicted to the narrative that he's a bad person, he could have done more, he didn't do enough, and he's driven himself crazy for over 12 years with that. To the point where he's a wreck when it comes to his nervous system. He lives in anxiety. Thank you, Olivia. And so, talking to this man, this gentleman today, he actually was able to see that addiction is more than just a substance or an external thing. I'm addicted to my thinking. When I was a little kid, I remember growing up, and I didn't even realize this was so impactful on my life. As a kid, my father was never there. My mom was a drug addict, alcoholic, and it was very lonely. My earliest memories were more associated with fear and anxiety and insecurity and abandonment than they were the happy, joy, lovey-dovey family. And from that space, and a little kid doesn't understand those things, they're more of impressions that I felt about myself in relationship to the world. I created a narrative that I was unloved, unwanted, abandoned, no good. You can name everything else. And it wasn't until I was well into my 30s doing my process, my 12 steps with my mentor or sponsor, elder, that I realized that some of those core issues from my childhood, that pain, that hurt, and some of the things that happened throughout the course of my life as a result of living from that place and hurting myself and other people was addictive. I couldn't let go of the fact that I was that little bastard kid, that I didn't matter, that nobody wanted me, didn't love me. And as I grew up, that perpetuated itself. Maybe some of you, somebody flew through and said, hi, I appreciate it. But really think about your own lives. Think about where you're at right now. Is there anything in your life that you want to do that you convince yourself you can't? Is there a place in your life where something's bothering you, where you've been carrying something? Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's work. Maybe it's anxiety. What is it that's holding you back from the person or the things you want to do? That is a prison. That's usually what I consider when I'm working with clients, the addiction of the brain, a thought addiction. And the only way to really address it is to talk about it, explore it, look where it comes from, get clear that we're carrying yesterday into today and perpetuating it. And that can stop once we see it and start to do work on it and heal that space and understand what happened, and that we don't have to live from there anymore. Those old narratives that have been controlling our entire life, we can address and transform and create new narratives and be free today. And that's what I hope that you'll understand from this takeaway. The real prison isn't barbed wire and fences. It isn't prison guards. It's your heart and soul. It's the wounds. It's the narratives. It's the process of thinking that's got you captured and you can't either let go of or you can't imagine living without. Anybody out there is this connecting with? I think I lost a lot of folks. Hit and run. That's okay. I don't mind. I'm not going anywhere. Tonight we're talking about the prison of the soul. Welcome in if you're just coming in. And we're talking about those places in life where we struggle and we can't seem to grow. We can't seem to get past something that's blocking us. And there's an anchor in there. There's something holding us back from what we deserve and what we want. Maybe you identify with that. I'm going to kind of listen a little bit. Any of you identify with anything within you that you're having a hard time letting go of, and that struggle and what it's like for you? This is your time. I see 4 people on, so hopefully somebody will chime in and give me some stuff. It's really awkward having a one-way conversation. I appreciate all the comments, the likes, the shares, the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate your subscription because it goes a long way to helping me help others. That's what I'm hoping for this process here, joining you, doing lives. In a couple weeks, I'm going to bring on another gentleman. I'm going to be bringing on guests to have conversations about addiction, about life, because I don't think this is just about drugs and alcohol. Maybe you have a loved one, a family member, somebody struggling, and in your mind, all they should do is get up and go get a job. Maybe they need to stop doing what they're doing or just grow up, be mature. a lot of times those behaviors and those actions come from somewhere. Something happened in their life that created a narrative, a belief system, and they don't know how to get out of there alone. That's where a professional such as myself or a therapist or a psychiatrist can help guide them out of there. And typically it takes a team to do that. I'm part of that team. I understand what we go through when we're struggling with life issues and don't know how to navigate them alone. And it's frustrating. Who can I trust? Who can I talk to about this? Um, I think of it as a thought addiction, and everything we do is about thinking. And what it is we create neural pathways or learned behavior, another word for a habit. And when those go awry, that's what we define as an addiction. It's a habit that has progressive consequences. So if I have a thought that I grew up with from a trauma perspective or a self perception, and it's diminishing and holding me back and impacting my life in a negative way, that's an addiction. It's not just drugs and alcohol. A lot of people in the world have addiction issues, they don't even know it. Racism, cultural divide, religion, faith, politics. This is me and this is the way it is, and I don't want to hear it, and I don't know how to talk to you. You're different. And nobody really addresses who put that thought in my head. Where did that come from? I mean, I'm blessed to be able to step back and look at my thinking and my actions and why I do what I do so that I can make informed decisions and not just follow along with whatever I hear or see on any given day or at any given moment. One of my biggest addictions was to validation, to people liking me, to myself feeling like I fit in. And ultimately, that addiction took a lot of years of my life. You know, I grew up not knowing how to associate or engage with people. I always felt less than. But the moment I stole Coke bottles, shoplifted, smoked weed, endeavored into harder drugs and harder crimes around people that were doing the same thing, I found a place of validation and acceptance that I did not have at home. And in that place, I followed a path of destruction, hurting myself and many people. Maybe you understand that. Let me see. Amen. Well, the thing is, Olivia, I really appreciate that comment. How would I frame that? And I really like that comment. I appreciate that. I didn't know who I was. I didn't have an identity. From the earliest of ages, my identity was what people thought of me or what I thought they thought of me. And if I had what you had, or I was doing what you were doing, I felt safe. I felt secure. I felt like I had a place. I had a family I didn't have at home. And I didn't realize that basically I had sold my soul to those people around me until it was too late. And it was who I became. I was a criminal. I was a drug addict. I was no good. I was broken. I was hopeless. And that narrative drove me more and more to the drug of my drug of choice and to the people that I hung around with, and ultimately stole many years of my life. It wasn't until I was well into prison and going through a change process, a transformation process where I had to look within, that I began to see something that I had never saw before. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I stood for anymore. It was like an out of body experience, looking at myself, wondering how I got where I was at and not understanding it, but realizing that I couldn't blame my life and the problems in it on just drugs and alcohol alone. It came from somewhere. And when I started to understand my story through a process of recovery among men who were doing the same work, it was amazing to me because what I learned is that I could improve and develop my own self validation. I could find a sense of worth and purpose in life. I could heal those wounds and stop carrying those narratives that limited my life or made me angry and resentful and hurt people and myself. I found freedom. Thus, this uh, future podcast right now, it's just live streaming, is that when I found my purpose and I got set in a direction rather than going in circles of chaos and insanity, my life began to change. And here's the truth of it, I did not know how to do it alone. I needed people to help me understand and change and transform my life. And so here I am with you tonight, 32 years sober, an amazing life. I mean, nothing's perfect, but this is a life I never imagined before. I have integrity, I have character. Maybe you understand what that feels like. You're in recovery, you start to get back a sense of self that you don't want to compromise. That you really begin to like yourself again and see yourself with some self-worth and value. You start helping people, you start making a difference. You're a citizen, a person in community that's like a part of society again. You're not a drug addict reprobate like I felt for most of my life. And I don't think that's who I was. That's who I became in my pain and my hurt and running from that story and trying to fit in wherever I could fit in. But yeah, today, you can like me today and hate me tomorrow. I'm going to be okay with that because I finally like myself and respect myself. I know what I stand for. But that took a lot of work. That took a lot of growth. I had to learn what that looked like. I had to live into that in action. I couldn't just sit back and go to groups or hang out and talk about it. I had to actually begin to do the work of change in my own life. And here I am talking to you. What's your story, Olivia? What are some things that are changing in your life or growing that, you see inspiration in that maybe somebody else doesn't see? Or anybody watching, what's some amazing things happening in your life? How long have you been sober, if that's part of your program? Or how long have you been in that process of change where you're finding freedom and a better life? Because that's really what this is about for us. It's about finding a way out of that prison that's held us back from life for so long and we didn't deserve it. A lot of people see the photo of me in 20 in prison and they think, oh, this is going to be out of prison. It is. But it's about how to get out of that prison. If you look at that photo, that's me at 20 going into prison. And when you see it, you think, oh, that's some crazy nutcase. He's angry, he's pissed off, he's dangerous. What you don't see is an insecure, scared little boy inside that's did whatever he could do to survive life. And he did a lot of bad things to fit in and to find security among the wrong people. I actually became one of them. That isn't a judgment, that's just the way it was. Until I learned it didn't have to be that way anymore. And change is really about identifying what doesn't work, what hasn't worked, what I'm carrying that I shouldn't be carrying anymore, or at least carrying it with pain and anger, and working on those things and developing a path out. It's like the Bermuda Triangle. People go in and don't come out. That's addiction. That's a thought. That's an action. It's not just drugs and alcohol. And so here we are. What do I do? I haven't been able to get out of this. I keep repeating it. I'm stuck. Stop. Sit down. Make a list of the things where you're stuck. Or go to my beacons. Click on the free 30-minute consultation and let's start a conversation to change your life in my bio. But once you stop and you really get clear on what's going on, it's really difficult to do it alone because you haven't done it in so long. The help of another person, a coach, a mentor, can help you reset your compass and begin to move a different direction and take action. It's like I could go to the gym, and I love analogies, and watch a lot of people working out and have every intention of wanting to get big and get healthy. But I just sit and watch people exercising and I never pick a weight up. Nothing is going to change. I have to get in the gym and start lifting weights. I need to get on the treadmill. I have to eat healthier if I'm going to have any kind of change in my life. So it really is about action. And for me, I didn't realize the change was happening for a long time. My mentors, my friends, the people I associated with, we talked about things to do. Be selfless, take care of other people, heal your wounds, become accountable for your actions. Those were phrases that we lived by, but not just lived by, those were things we did every day. And at one point, you just kind of go, wow, something's different. I call them epiphany moments where you realize that whatever you've been doing is working and you just keep doing it. And the more you do it, it becomes who you are. And then you sit on the front porch as a free man going, wow, I never saw this happening. Or you're with your family. And freedom is an amazing thing in that place within. I was more free in prison than I had ever been out of prison as a result of this process, as a result of a change process, a transformation process. And as an addiction recovery specialist, that's what I do every day to help people break out of that prison. Sometimes they don't even realize they're in it because, I just drink and drug and I'm sober, so everything's fine. I'm good now. No. Why did you drink and drug? What were you medicating? What were you pushing away? That's the real conversation. And what do you feel about yourself? What are your thoughts? What are your struggles? What do you have a difficult time seeing getting past or doing? And that's when we begin to build a plan for a better life. Does that make sense for anybody chiming in? I appreciate the comment. I think we got a bunch of guys coming and going and ladies, but I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. It means a lot. If you can, I appreciate you subscribing to my channel. It helps me help others. That's part of the journey. Because really, this is about helping one another live and be free. Do you have someone you love, or are you going through something like that, a struggle in your life? Put it down in the chat. You can be innocuous. You can tell me it's your cousin. I don't care. But let's talk about a solution to something you're struggling with, or a struggle you've overcome and you feel more free. That's just as important to inspire hope in people that are trapped. Appreciate the hearts. I love you. Keep it coming, guys. I love it. Sobriety is a wonderful thing. And I don't mean just from drugs and alcohol, but from all of that shit I carried. I love it. Woo. Welcome in, welcome in. I see people popping in and out. I appreciate you stopping by. And if you're watching, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to be here every Wednesday and Saturday night from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, maybe a little longer, to start talking about addiction, build a family. And I hope you come back and join the team. Let's work together. Let's build a better world. Let's build a better life for ourselves and those around us. That's really my hope. I don't know. I don't want to make all of this about me. Where's the first step? Let's have fun with this. If you're watching, I want you to think of one thing in your life that you struggle with. Who grave is that? What do you mean? Grave. I don't know. What grave are you talking about, Doc? Oh, in the picture, here or here? The middle? These are things that are from, let me see. You're in shorts. Oh, this one? That's my grand sponsor. Let me twist this a little bit. May he rest in peace. This is David. We call him Papa G. He left California where he owned a I guess, what you would call a spiritual retreat where he helped men and women sometimes navigate a place of transformation in their lives through sweat lodge, breath work, and other holistic practices. And while he was doing that, he was going into prisons and doing hospitals and institutions work. And he met my sponsor inside at a meeting. My sponsor was doing a life sentence. And David actually helped my sponsor get clean and discover a better way of living and helped him break out of that prison of the soul. Because Richard was trapped. Richard was bad. And not, I don't mean intentionally, but just because life created a monster. Experiences, people, places, and things. And so Richard passed away in 2010. I came home in 2011. And as soon as I was off of parole, I wasn't a good kid, I flew over and spent time with David several times. And that was one of our trips where we went to the Indian Ocean together because I wanted to see it. And I wanted to spend time with him. Yes, well, as he would say, or my sponsor would say, a mentor, God used their experiences and spoke through those experiences to help us. We're all links in the chain helping one another. And that's how they believe. That's how I was taught. Everything I'm sharing with you here or carrying a message where I work or with private clients and their families, my experiences are just ways God reaches you and touches you so that you might see hope or to guide you to a place of hope in your own life. Because I've done this so long, it's like tying my shoes. I know it intuitively helping people. I actually love it a lot. It's a passion because I know what it's like to be in that prison in here, and I know what it's like to be free. And I want that for everybody. But I can't force it on people. I can only present it and say, I'm here. Or send you in a direction where you'll find it. If you don't want me, there's a lot of people out there like me. This isn't a selfish thing. Yes, he did. He was an amazing person. David was, I got to fly back, right? He died in 2020, right during COVID. I had to fly back on the 20th of March in 2020 when COVID was at its peak in Asia and everybody was freaking out. I flew over and got to say goodbye to him before he passed away. I wanted to honor him and thank him and bless him before he passed and tell him I love him. There are those people in our lives that stand in the gap that sometimes we don't even know are there. He was somebody that was huge in my life. Without him, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you. That's crazy, but that's the truth. Thank you for asking the question. How long were you in? 27 years. I had a second degree, and I should have been home in 15, although I don't want to talk about it like that. And because of the state of California and politics and my own behavior, I spent 27 years of incarceration before I was let go by the appellate court because they felt my rights were violated. Yeah, it's crazy. And here I am talking to you. That's what's even crazier. And I have a great life. I'm free. I'm not a convict. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a drug addict. I am those things if I choose that, but I don't choose that today. I would say my addictive nature is in remission. My lifestyle is in remission as long as I live a healthy and decent life and continue to do the work I was taught and that I'm doing today. So I don't really regret it. It was kind of crazy when you think about it, but it's what was needed for me to be here with you tonight. It was my PhD. And for 18 years, I was deep into recovery, deep into learning. Well, I'm glad you're back, Olivia. Thank you again for coming back. And yeah, the prison doing all those years taught me how to be a man. I don't know about many of you or you in particular. Well, I didn't know I never grew up with anybody that taught me proper etiquette, what to do, how to live properly. I was raised on the streets. and before that in my home like an animal. And so it in the middle of 9 years in on my life sentence, I met a man who I saw hope and inspiration in, and he taught me how to grow up. He showed me the prison of the soul and the thoughts that held me in that prison, the pain, the hurt, the trauma, some real and some perceived and made up. Oh, my dog's going to drive me crazy. And thank God that I met him. He was able to help me see erroneous thinking patterns, patterns I didn't have to carry anymore, however true. And because of that man, I found freedom. I mean, freedom is a weird thing. I could be in prison and still be free. I mean, I'm not, thank God, and I get to do this work every day helping people. But yeah, it started with him, it went through Richard, and ended up with me. And I'm grateful to those men. Yeah, so you know that 9 years, I was in 9 years myself before I woke up. In an ad seg cell, just got caught for possession of methamphetamine for distribution and being spun out. 3 months to my first parole board hearing. I shouldn't be here right now. I never thought I would get out. But an amazing thing happened on March 11th, 93 in that ad seg cell. I was broken. I just came out of a methamphetamine psychosis. I don't know if you've ever looked at yourself, any of you, and just knew this wasn't who you were. How did this happen? This is not who I am. It's a really weird moment. And from that point forward, it's been a journey. I don't really think from that point forward I ever looked back. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I wanted something different. And when I found somebody doing that, I didn't let go, and I did not like it. I don't think any of us like our belief systems challenged. How dare you say that I got to let go of my childhood or accept that I was treated that way? Okay, then keep it, Lance. Let me know how that works for you. Screw you, and I'd have temper tantrums. But he was right. I didn't have to carry that broken little kid anymore. I could start caring about him. I could love him. I could fucking honor him and be the man I was meant to be and help other people. And it was just like, and I was challenged every day almost. No, it is, let me pull it down. This is a picture that my sponsor gave me when we were roommates. And it's a bunch of gangsters and people that lived hardy, unhealthy lives that had transformed. And each one of them has like carrying a flame of the Spirit, and that's like Christ. So it has a lot of meaning to me, a connection to God in the work, like a God consciousness and connection among us as men and women in recovery and in life. So yeah, I keep it framed. It's one of those mementos from him that I will never let go of because it's very precious. Let me read what it says real quick. Keepers of the flame, for with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light we shall see light. Let me put it back up and not break it. Whoop, don't do that. Okay. Because those are precious things. I have a lot of things like that. You know, I have, like, let me move my phone a little bit this way. These are David's, my grand sponsor's first smudge feathers. He used to smudge people before he did Sweat Lodge with. He gave those to me right before he passed away because it was like a sacred thing that he felt I should have. And so I've honored it by keeping it in a case and there. And it's kind of like an artifact in recovery. And I'll pass that on to somebody that I sponsor or help. Amen. A piece of the Holy Ghost. Absolutely. The Holy Spirit. Think about it. When I was first with Richard and we were going through this whole process of me breaking out of that prison and learning what it looked like and how to do it, I remember Richard, sometimes he would say weird stuff. And I remember one of his things I used to hear him say more than anything else is that he really never wanted to disappoint God. And I was like, what the? And also that what he was sharing with us and teaching us young men how to grow up and become better men and help others wasn't about him. God was using his experience to help us. And he never took credit for the work that we did, and he just shared his story and helped us connect to ours, and I'm always humble to that. There was like a connection that God was using our experiences to help one another, and quite frankly, that's what I still do. I only have what I know. And I may know a lot, and I may have been through a lot, and I did a lot of trainings. I have a lot of experience across the board in multiple recovery platforms. And at the end of the day, it's a human conversation to let you know I see you, I understand you, and if you need help, I'm here. Let's have a conversation and figure it out together. And if you need my support through it, I got you back. That's what anybody, that's a therapist, a doctor, anybody, that's what they know. But as somebody in our field, that's a special gift. Um, Appreciate your subscriptions. They do matter. Subscribing to my channel helps me help others. And I hope you come back and visit. I'm going to be doing lives every Wednesday and Saturday night from 7 o'clock on until we end or stop. And I'm going to continue to show up for you and for those that aren't here yet, that we haven't met. And hopefully you'll invite a friend or pass the message that we're going to be here. And we're going to just have conversations. We're going to talk about life and what to do. I don't want it to be stuffy. I just want to have conversations with people. And if you have questions, ask. If you want me to share something, I'll share it, but I also want you to connect with it and share yourselves. Oof, my wife made chili beans. Good. But I appreciate the comment, Doc. It's a blessing. Um, a lot of people don't really understand the gift we're given. Appreciate you, and thank you. This is a time for us to come together and just have human talk, human conversation. It's awkward because I'm getting used to it. For me, a lot of my work is face to face, person to person. So this is a new concept for me. And I don't know where you guys are at, what you're doing, but I'm here. And I appreciate you being here and sharing your time with me. And for those of us that are here, I mean, if it's 5 people or it's 500 people, I'm glad we're here. Because maybe something we do or say can help somebody help another human being or maybe ourselves get through another day. And if you have a family member, a loved one, someone struggling, and you want help for them professionally, you can go to my bio, click on Beacons. In my Beacons. There's a button you can click for a free 30-minute consultation, and let's see if we can't start a new conversation about changing your life or helping you help one of your loved ones change. That's the journey, and that's why I'm doing this. I appreciate again all your time. Any more questions or thoughts or things you're going through or things that you've overcome that you're happy and proud of? Put them in the chat. Let's see. Let's put them out in the world. Let's inspire people that there is hope and that change is possible. If somebody like myself with a broken childhood up to the age of 19 and 27 years of incarceration and now almost 15 years of freedom can be here talking to you, if that's not hope and that's not possible change for you, I don't know what is. But you have to do the work. You have to put the work in. You have to be able to ask for help and follow just a little direction or suggestion, and great things can come to pass. Amen. I appreciate all of you being here. Just like this journey is amazing. I'll tell you a little story. I know we like stories and listening, and I appreciate you here, but I'd rather talk about you, but I'll share about me, hopefully connect with you. I remember I've shared this before, these little stories. When I left prison, and my little dog was going to drive me. Give me 1 second to let her back in the house. Give me 1 minute. It ain't even going to take that. Come on. It's time to go in the house with Mama. Come on. Let's go. Let's go to the house with Mama. Go in the house, you two. Autumn. Big ball. Come on. Let's go. In. That was cute. Both the cat and the dog started chasing one another around. They're like twins. Thank you for giving me a moment and break. Yeah, I got two. We have three. I have a Cocker Spaniel we adopted a little over 5 years ago, Sage. We have a Palm Chew, which is half Pomeranian, half Chihuahua, Autumn, which we adopted about a year and a half, 2 years, no, maybe almost 3 years. And at the same time, we adopted Autumn when she was like a little, like a ball of fur, because her mom had died at birth. So we adopted her right after she came off of the bottle feeding at the adoption agency. And right when we got her, I found a little kitten down the street from us, a feral cat that the mom had abandoned and was dying. And so I cleaned her up, defleed her, dewormed her. I bottle fed her for a month. I call her Bing Bong. She's a tortie. And now they've all grown up together and they're like one big trio, like the Three Musketeers. And they love one another and they play all the time. It's crazy. Um, so, yeah, I love animals. Even when I was inside, I had a lot of lizards and birds and you name it. It was a sense of caring for something just because of caring and to have that love reciprocated. So, yeah, I love animals. Got fur baby time. We took him to the puppy park today. That was an adventure. You see this little palm tree that's like maybe 5 pounds wet with a big floofy tail and like a lion's mane and little ears. And she's galloping around chasing the big dogs. It was fun. Mm. So, do you work, Doc, in the field, or what do you do around recovery or change, or you do anything in the field? Are you yourself in the program or sober and have overcome a lot of things in life? Just curious. If that's too personal, tell me to shut up and I'll kick my ball. I'm just curious. I like to know people's stories. I like to get to know people. If anybody has any questions, I'm looking down here at my computer so I can see the things. Wait, maybe I think I can do that on there, can't I? Let me see something real quick. Nah, get out of there. I'm gonna screw something up. Wow, that's a challenge. I'm impressed. Congratulations. My uncle did that too. I was a little hating on him because I was like, "How do you just quit cold turkey?" He just quit. But I don't know that he didn't have some other help going on. But he quit drinking. Um, Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you. Um, yeah, I appreciate coming here and hanging out with all of you, sharing stories, talking about hope. But I really also want to talk to families and loved ones that have someone that's struggling. It may not be drugs and alcohol. Addiction isn't just drugs and alcohol. Maybe there's other things going on that you're struggling with a loved one or someone that in your life and you need help with them. That's what I do. I help families understand addiction, understand what's going on, how to develop healthy boundaries, how to communicate better, how to love in a healthy way rather than an enablement way, and stop the enmeshment and start allowing their loved one to grow and allow themselves to have freedom. Because a lot of times families are just as attached and engaged in that prison as their loved one when they're going through it. I mean, I talked to a family last night. Um, I had nothing but empathy because it's killing them. They're in pain, they're hurting, and they can't change anything about their son. He has to make those choices. They want me to help him, but I'm waiting on him to make that decision right now, actually. Hopefully, he'll make the right decision. He has some heavy stuff going on in his life that I have some professional expertise in and know exactly what needs to be done to help him navigate this space, but I can't force it on him. And I hope he takes the opportunity and says yes. But if he doesn't do it this time, hopefully he'll survive and accept it next time. That's sometimes the hardest thing, is knowing that there's a solution and people don't choose it. My wife keeps letting the dogs out. It's driving me crazy right now. And I love her, but she's going to get in trouble tonight. Yeah. So I will say we got about another 10, 15 minutes. Any thoughts, any questions? I appreciate you being here. Again, your subscriptions go a long way, and I appreciate you subscribing to the channel and supporting it. And maybe sharing this station with others that are in addiction or may struggle with a problem. Give them this, or give them my information and my beacons, and let them reach out and contact me. It's the rest of my life. I can't think of anything more I'd want to do than help people. Any questions or thoughts, or I'll just be quiet for a minute and hang out with you. I ran out of drink. Oh, my soda's gone. Wait, there's a little bit in here. I'm a little hoarse. But yeah, recovery is possible. And not just recovery from drugs or alcohol, recovery from life addiction, thought addiction, behavioral addictions. Change is possible. You just gotta want it. Do a little work. Why?
Are you live?
I'm scolding my wife right now. It's okay. She knows I'm live, and she's.
I didn't know you were live.
Yeah. I have escaped prisoner dogs right now.
Sorry. Come on, babies.
It's okay.
Are you on TikTok?
No, I'm on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I'm with the crew right now. We're talking about changing the world and taking over. Pinky in the brain moment.
Let's go.
Hold on. Let me... She's a normie. Bless her heart. It was like all of a sudden both dogs, the cat, the wife. Hey, welcome to sobriety and freedom. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I love my wife. I love my babies. I love freedom. I love you. I appreciate you. You just don't know how much. And I appreciate you being here. And I hopefully you'll come back and visit on Wednesdays and Saturday nights when you can or when you're available, and share the message that I'm here. I love my wife. Nothing to take you off point, but yeah. You can see I have a real life. This isn't fake. This is just me. And I can get frustrated. But I don't mind. It's a good day. Well, I appreciate you being here. Any last thoughts? Any last comments? Oh yeah, she's amazing. My wife is a blessing. She keeps me on my toes. Just a true story. Maybe if you want to hang out for a few minutes. And when I first met my wife, we met on eHarmony because dating was overwhelming to me. After being in prison for 27 years, dating was a nightmare. I was like a 48-year-old virgin, and I was scared to death. I wanted a relationship, but I didn't even know what that looked like because I hadn't had one. And so we met and we started to date. And I'm one of those folks that I'm going to be honest with you right out of the gate. You're either going to like me or you're not. I prefer you to like me for who I am, not for who I was. And if you're going to reject me, let's just get it out of the way at the front end, because I'm not going to deny that I love myself and I'm living a better life. And that's your opinion. And so she loved me. And we've been hanging out since. But I remember in our early years of dating, I remember telling her, honey, I don't know that much about relationships. I'm still learning and I have a lot to learn. I know I'm going to blow through stop signs. I give you permission to stop me when I do, but please do it with love and empathy so that I can learn how to be a better man and a better human being. And you know what? She's kept me to that. She's been a saint in my life, and I love her abundantly because she's helped me be a better man. She's helped me go through a lot of things. She supports me in the down times and in the up times, and I do the same for her. It's probably what a healthy relationship is, and I appreciate her very, very much. I couldn't imagine living without her. God brought her to me, and she's a gift, and hopefully I'm that for her. Any thoughts or questions or statements or shares, or is there anything I shared tonight that you'd like me to expand on? or topics you'd like me to talk about in future lives. Amen. God has blessed me abundantly, and to him goes the glory. Always, brother, always, Scott. I don't know any other way to be, you know. As a kid, I was confused and lost, but once I found myself through this journey of transformation, I never want to let go of it. Yeah, I could get pissy. I could get a thought, an idea. I just tell myself to shut the F up. I'm not going to waste this journey in this life I've been given, this opportunity. You know, if one thing I can share that recovery gives you back that you never want to let go of is integrity. I never thought that I would have integrity to a point where I love myself and I respect myself and I stand in my integrity and my dignity. I won't compromise that. A lot of times people get their feathers ruffled, but I'm just who I am. I don't know how to be anything else. This is the man I want to be. And hopefully something I can say can help some of you along the way. So with that, I am going to close out and call it a night. Hopefully you'll come back Saturday night, 7 o'clock, and let's start the conversation all over again. Appreciate you, and you're subscribing to my channel. It goes a long way. God bless and keep you till Saturday. Amen.